All right, here we go with lesson 2, which I introed to you yesterday on the capital sins. This is your definition. It's the moral vices, opposite of virtues that cause other sins to come about. And we're going to go through all 7 today. For every capital sin that I give you, I'm going to give you the definition. I'm going to give you examples of how this capital sin leads to other sins. And then I'm going to give you the opposite virtue. So you, of course, expected to know all 3 of those elements for every one. And today, I expect to get through 6 of the 7. All right. Number 1 is pride. Unlimited and excessive appreciation of yourself. I'm so important. I'm so good. I'm so successful. I'm so talented. It just baffles my mind. Boy, is this school lucky to have me. This is the way people think. I think guys typically struggle with pride more than girls, but certainly anybody's prone to it. You like to think really high of yourself. This is a good image of, like, we put ourselves on a pedestal and it's about me. Very dangerous, very common capital sin. It is a failure to give God the glory for any goodness that we might have, or all the goodness that we have. I'm so good looking. Could you imagine if everybody looked as good as me? How beautiful this world would be. This is pride. All right, so I want to see your experience of pride. I'll come back to that slide. Where do you see it? Telling somebody that they're perfect, neglecting someone who doesn't look good, being mean to other people, totally. Bullying, putting people down. Why? Because you're better than them, and you have to let them know it. Playing video games instead of going to mass. No, bad example. Lying, maybe. Because another person doesn't deserve to know the truth, maybe. I don't know. Bragging is a good one. Maybe lying. Putting other people down. Not taking responsibility for something you did. A good sign of pride is somebody not being able to say, I'm sorry. And that's hard. Like, a lot of, once the drama unfolds and everybody confesses that so-and-so did that and they're guilty, some people still will not say, I'm sorry, because they have pride. And if pride is, I am so good and perfect, then you can't say I'm sorry, because then that admits that you're not perfect. And so some people just won't apologize. Pure pride. At the school around the corner, John Paul the Great Academy, they have an awesome program whereby all their juniors go to Rome every year. It's like a field trip to Rome, pilgrimage to Rome. And of course, that's expensive, a couple of $1,000s to do that. And so it's not like mandatory, but what the school was able to do is they established a fund. So for those students whose families could not afford to send them to Rome, they just dipped into this fund and said, listen, the school will take care of you. We're going to get you there. Well, this one dad said, no, I won't accept it. The dad's not letting their kid go to Rome because he has too much pride to accept help from other people. It's all about me. I won't accept help because I don't need help. We don't need to go to Rome and experience things like that. So that's another example of pride. Bullying somebody, arrogance, maybe lying, gloating, yeah, greed. I don't need God. Yeah, that's a real thing. Putting yourself before other people. You deserve more than people. Yeah, maybe. You're better than other people. Not forgiving others, maybe. Egotism is pride. Another sin of pride, hurting others. All right, let me give you a couple more examples. Parents who demand perfection of their kids, like, my kid, like, you better be starting on the team. You better be having that 4.0 GPA. Why? Because the parent thinks that they're perfect and they expect to raise a kid perfect. And so whenever this kid fails, they take it personally. That's pride. It's all about them, unfortunately, living vicariously, as you've heard it said before, through their kids, you know. You know, you're I don't know. I don't want to give too many examples. The second one I think is very relevant because it's present on every high school campus in the world. And it's whatever group of people think that they're above the rules. This might be seniors who don't feel the need to work, who don't feel the need to obey all the rules because, you know, I've been here long enough. I'm a senior. I'm running the show. That's pride. You're you know, yes, you're a senior. Yes, you've been here a while, but you're no better than anybody else. So please remember that as y'all become seniors very quickly. Pride. I'm a big athlete on campus, so I shouldn't have to do the work. You know, everyone else should give me their homework. I'm too busy winning. You know, it's all about me, 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 me. You know, so that's the capital sin of pride, found in rule breakers and sometimes perfectionists. You don't have to write this quote down, but it helps you understand how ugly pride is. St. John Vianney says, pride makes us hate our equals, because they're our equals, our inferiors from fear that they may equal us, and our superiors because they are above us. So if you're prideful and you're about me, you don't truly love anybody because you're just looking for your own glory. And so your equals are always competition. Your inferiors reaffirm the fact that you're so great. And then if you have a boss or somebody above you, you speak bad about them all the time because they shouldn't be your boss. You're better than them. See the arrogance of pride. All right, what's the opposite of pride? Humility. There you go. Opposing virtue, opposite, whatever you want to call it, is humility, which is the ability to give God thanks and glory for all the goodness. So now nobody knows how sincere they are, but when a celebrity gets a Grammy or an Emmy, when the athlete gets MVP, they get to the microphone, they say, I got to thank God. I want to thank my parents. I want to thank my coaches and my teammates. I couldn't do any of this without them. If they mean that in their heart, you can be the most popular, celebrated, richest person in the world and be humble. But that's what it looks like. And so that's why acceptance speeches are often what they are. Giving God thanks for the gifts we have. These are people that can do small things. They can do the dirty work. When Carly Broussard got Student of the Year this year for her academic success, but also for her Christian attitude, I liked what they said about her, that this student always shows up to do the dirty work. She shows up to clean. She shows up for when Miss Boyd and Miss Battle need people to just do the unnoticeable things. If you find yourself able to do the small things, contribute to the team, to the class, and nobody notices, that's a good sign of humility. You're willing to do good. You're the secret saint. You're doing good without the recognition. It's not about you. It's about the good. So it's definitely Carly Broussard. All right, moving on to capital sin number 2. Anger. Yeah, doing small things that are unnoticed and listening well to other people.
On the test, is it going to be like one? Like, are they in order? Like, if you say
It's never in order. It's never in order. It's always jumbled, mixed, shuffled questions to limit cheating. Oh, you don't need to know. There's no real order. No. Okay. Now I understand your question. Anger is an intemperate desire for revenge, hostile, wrathful feelings. I like the first word, intemperate, because you learned last chapter that temperance is being able to control your desires and appetites. Well, if you can't control your anger, you have an intemperate desire for revenge, wrathful feelings towards other people. You want to punch them in the face. Here are examples from period 7. Harming others, very general. Assault, violence, good. Breaking something, like Andy from The Office who has anger issues, right? He punches the wall. Okay, it's a little excessive. Cursing, being mean to someone, abuse, violence, all right. Getting repetitive at this point, but these are all pretty good. Holding a grudge. Yeah. Yes, Lexi.
So it's a sin to be angry.
Here comes my next note. It's kind of like pride. Like there's a good pride and there's a bad pride. There's righteous anger and then there's sinful anger. So let's see. Let's say there's an addict in your family and they have a relapse into their addiction. You should be angry. Like if your reaction is anger, well, that's right, because this is a wrong thing to do and you're upset with all the help you offer this person that they relapse. That's not a sin. It often leads to sins, though, if you're a very angry person, and to punch walls and to curse at the person who just relapsed. These are the sins that come from this negative emotion. So it's okay to be angry. Jesus was angry, but it's not okay to sin out of that anger. So that's where this is called a capital sin. Does that make sense? Okay. Anger is just an emotion, but you have to choose what to do with it. So, sorry, but I'm going to give a tennis imagery that I've used for other classes. Even those of you that don't follow tennis, you've seen tennis players smash their rackets, right? It makes for great YouTube videos. Like, out of violence, they'll take this metal thing and just bend it out of anger. And maybe that helps some of them channel energy. But the greater players are able to use that anger that they feel and channel it so they don't destroy a $250 racket. And so it's the ability to channel that energy that is the virtue of temperance. But the misuse of anger. Other examples that are very similar to what y'all put on Socrative is road rage, brawls, violent crimes. I hear this from Turling's football players all the time where they get sucker punched by their opponent. Out of anger, they sucker punch back. The referee only sees theirs and they get flagged. And then they blow the game for the team 15 yards in the fourth quarter because of a cheap shot. They couldn't control their anger. You can lose a big game off of inability to control your anger. So all these things. Substance abuse. It's oftentimes all your drinking and your smoking and your drugs, all that is gluttony often. But a lot of times it's anger. It's coming out of anger. Like you're angry at life, you're angry at your parents, and so the drugs and the alcohol help you cope and relax. And then you get addicted because you need that. And then isolating oneself. Like, we all get into fights with our parents, at least in the teen years for the most part. But do you not talk to them for 2 months? Because that's a little excessive. Like you gotta move towards forgiveness. Yes, ma'am.
Can you put in a sentence, please?
Yes, ma'am. Okay. All right, so there's your anger. And the opposite of anger. Thank you. Thank you very much, Caroline. +1. I have my back. The opposite of anger is meekness. So somebody has a really dumb post on social media. Instead of responding with all caps, "You are so dumb. How can you honestly believe this?" Rah, rah, rah. 15 exclamation points. You just walk away. You just scroll on, turn your phone off. That's meekness. Also known as being chill. Because the all caps feature doesn't help the situation. Frankly. If I could design a smartphone, when somebody puts it on all caps, I would have a notification pop up. Are you angry right now? And if they say yes, then it would turn off the caps lock. Well, yeah, I mean, it would probably lock. I would have to lock caps lock for about 10 minutes to be on a timer. You need to calm down. Maybe 10 minutes, you'll calm down, and then we'll ask you again. Because apparently you can do all caps if you're like super happy, right? Or you're super angry. I don't know any other time, but you gotta be able to not respond in all caps. I think it's a moral sin. Just kidding about the moral part. Could be a sin. Very ineffective. So you want meekness to be able to just turn the other cheek, walk away, maybe pray for them, not start a fight, whether it be digitally, virtually, socially, or physically. Isn't that so cute? You mean I'm a sin? Sloths, it takes them a minute to move 16 feet. Poor guys. Yeah. I learned that in one of my toddler books. And then other students have taught me fascinating things about sloths, such as they will go grab a branch, but they mistake it for their arm, and then they fall to their death. I know. It's horrible, Lexi. How do you do that? Yeah, I mean, look at it. It's very brown. They're very camouflage. I don't know how this species is still around. I think the lions, they just look at like, this is too easy. They just go for the gazelle. I don't know. But anyways, that slow life, that's an image of how people perceive their own life, that they're not very motivated, they're not very quick, they're not very excited about life or anything deep. You know what atheism is? It's no God exists. And you know what agnosticism is? That means people who are agnostics, they say you can't really know if God exists. There's a new A word out there. New vocab word. Apatheism. And it's coming out of your generation. That when asked about God, you don't say like the atheist, oh, he doesn't exist. Or you just can't know anything. God's too far away. You say, I don't care if God exists or not. I just really don't care. If there's a heaven and hell, so be it. I'm just going to live my life. Like complete slothness. No desire to know the truth. No confidence that you can attain it. Very, very slothful way of living spiritually. I don't know what was named first, the animal or the sin. But that's what it is. What? I don't know. I've never researched the blinking patterns of sloths. I heard they sleep for like 20 hours a day. So, I mean, lucky, yeah. All right. This is a quote you don't need to write down, but it's very powerful. It shows you the evilness of sloth. Right, Lane? Sloth is the sin that believes in nothing, cares for nothing, seeks to know nothing, interferes with nothing, enjoys nothing, hates nothing, finds purpose in nothing, lives for nothing, and remains alive because there is nothing for which it will die. You're just floating along down life. What does sloth look like? What are some examples from period 7? Not going to church, not going to mass. Plagiarism, very good. Just cheating on homework. Often sloth. Not being productive, procrastinating, too lazy to pray. Very good. Not helping people. Boredom of God. Wow, y'all are nailing sloth, period 7. You got this. The top 3 capital sins found in high schoolers are sloth, lust, and gluttony. But I think sloth might be number 1, frankly. So, too lazy to do things. By the way, how was the Easter Vigil?
It was so an hour 30 minutes.
Hour 30 minutes? Wow, that's a record.
Oh, yeah. We did 5 readings or 4 readings. He wouldn't wait, but like.
Oh yeah, I like that. Oh my goodness, those are just the big names. There's the thousands of canonized saints. Anyways, I only have 3 examples of sloth, and that is not praying regularly. Like, for example, we start every class with a minute of silence. And I know a lot of you blow it off, whatever. Maybe some of you just relax for 60 seconds or so. But to not even try to communicate with, not even just to intentionally find something you are truly thankful for, it's a bit slothful, And whatever, that's on you. That's your minute. Not praying regularly, aka daily, failing to make mass, and not seeking the truth. And that might even be in your classes, in your academics. All this is sloth. Now, what's the opposite of sloth? If sloth is a lack of motivation, what? What's that? I think you said full. You're full of motivation. You're pumped up. You're ready to carpe diem. You have correct, good, and good. A Z. You were close. Zealous. Oh, good. Good job. I didn't hear it. I thought you said Zydeco or something. Somebody said Zydeco. Who said that? Sloth's opposing virtue is zeal. You wake up early. You go work out before school. You go to the chapel before school, all on your own. You're just a go-getter. Going above and beyond. Then you're shamed for being an overachiever, but you could care less. You're just winning. What? Try hard? Yeah. You try hard. People zealous, people try hard. Yeah. And what I'm saying is people make fun of you for it, but you just keep doing it. Zeal. Got it? Greed. Brought to you by Ariana Grande. I used to have other pictures up there, but then students started singing that song whenever I described greed, so I was like, okay, I'll just put it up there. I never heard the song before in my life. But it sounds like greed. I want it, I got it, I want it, I got it, I want it, I got it, I want it, I got it. Like my hair, G just bought it. I see it, I like it, I want it, I got it. Greed, 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 greed. Go buy whatever you want, make you feel happy. Shoot me. If I ever listen to that song. It's just, it's very much, You can almost you see the shallowness of it, but you also see the danger of it. You live your life on the surface. You have this immoderate desire for earthly goods. This is seen in people who spend too much and can never possess enough, as well as people who spend too little and simply want to accumulate wealth. I don't know, I might have told y'all this a couple of months ago when we talked about level 1 happiness, but I once had a student with a brand new truck many years ago. And everyone knew this kid came from a wealthy family. And I asked him, I said, how happy is that truck going to make you? For how long? He said, until it hits about 15,000 miles. And then he needs a new one. Just that greed of I need to replace, I need the newest thing, I need the latest thing, I can't be behind anybody else, I need to spend $1,000 on an iPhone even when my iPhone 10 whatever is working perfectly fine. I need to upgrade because I need to be able to have this weird strange feature that I'm never going to use. I want, so this is the evil that causes us to ... Let's see what examples period 7 comes up with. Of greed. No. Stealing is probably the most obvious reason. Example of greed. Always needing to buy things, robbing, excessive desires. What greed is, it's not an example. Not giving to other people when you have an abundance is often a sign of greed. Stealing, lying, tax fraud, very good. That's stealing from the government. You all did a pretty good job on that one. You're workaholic. Not always. Can't judge every workaholic, but a lot of them they will say this, and I've heard them say this. Well, I'm working really hard so my kids can have the nice things that I never had. It's very nice and it's very sweet, but it's very unnecessary. Your kid doesn't need a Lamborghini, Your kid doesn't need to go to Disney every year. Relax. They're going to be fine, So a lot of times, as generous as some people are, it's still a focus on I'm going to work extra hard so I can have extra nice things. I know a Turling's graduate. I keep in touch with her. She loves animals. Very smart girl. High GPA. Loves animals. I said, you going to be a vet? You a veterinarian doctor? And she said, no, they don't make enough money. Veterinarian doctors can do pretty well. Not as good as a human doctor, of course, but they do pretty well. And she knew that there was a problem with that answer. She says, I like nice things. So she wants to be able to buy nice things. So she's on a track to get a law degree. She's not passionate or excited at all about law. She just knows she's going to make a lot of money. And I can't tell you, I'm talking right now to period 7. I talked to period 6 about this an hour ago. I couldn't get over the amount of people in that room that were like, yes, Mr. Peo, she's right. There was 4 or 5 boys that were just like, yeah, make your money. Then we did the math. We did the math last class. And do you know how many hours, if you work, you start your career at 22, you retire at 65. Do you know how many hours you're going to spend working? In your whole life. On the clock for a boss. What? No, not 2 million. That would be a couple lifetimes there. So it's likely that you could hit $100,000 hours on the clock for your average career, 9 to 5. 40 hours a week, 52 weeks a year. 90,000 hours. You're going to spend a good third of your life, maybe half of your life, working. And people just do it for the money. And I could never live like that. I mean, if I really was desperate for money for my family, I would do that for my family, yes. And maybe some people do. But y'all are young enough, you're smart enough, and you have enough resources to find something you love to do. Don't be a slave for half your life. Find something you love. And if that doesn't make, and it probably won't make as much money as being a lawyer, as being a doctor or whatever. And that's fine. You will make do. You will survive. I promise you. You will not go hungry off of, $50,000 a year when everybody else around you is making $100. Just be the happier person. So, anyways, that's greed. It's greed. Like, I'm going to work extra hard for extra nice things. Always upgrading. I kind of mentioned that one in your Ebenezer Scrooge. Have a lot of money. Don't give. Don't share. Don't donate. The opposite of greed is? No, not necessarily. Not direct enough. Somebody that gives away a lot of things is charitable. We're going to use that one for another one. Generous. Generosity. Sharing what you have, giving what you receive. Sometimes more. What's up, Kyle? Meekness. meekness. So generosity is if you feel like you struggle, maybe ladies, you always need the new designer clothes. Try giving some away. Try donating money. It'll help you detach. This is an ugly one. This is like really ugly. But I believe very common in high school. Envy. Sorrow over somebody else. You can't stand the fact that your ex, boyfriend, girlfriend, is succeeding so much and is doing so well. Curse be them. People are envious because they believe that their own value is determined by external standards. Often. I don't have this. I'm upset that they got a new car. And so what do? You go and you key their car. You're envious. You slash their tires. You go Carrie Underwood, Miranda Lambert on them and just sing a song about destroying your ex-boyfriend's life. That's envy. You just want somebody to value. You get nothing out of it except personal gratification. Envy's tough when it comes to examples. Let's see. See what y'all got for this one. Jealousy, stealing, maybe? See, when you steal, at least you get the thing you stole. This is just pure. Envy is just, you just want to destroy somebody's life. Yeah, the examples you give are not evil enough for envy. Let me finish. Wanting another man's wife to die. Gossiping about somebody, and it's not even close to being true. Like you just want people to think the worst about somebody. That's envy. And so I put gossip when it's not true. Curses and voodoo as well. Those are real things. People go to witch doctors to send a curse upon, their ex. True love.
Does that even work or no?
Oh yeah, it works. It works. Voodoo's real. Magic's real. Witchcraft is real. I'm going to teach you all this next chapter. That's why we avoid it. Yeah. I was involved in exorcisms. I saw 3 or 4 of them. They were all related to witchcraft and witch doctors and all the spells and curses. And people do this. It's present in cultures. Of course, the voodoo culture that's popular in New Orleans It's not just a tourist attraction. They get money that way, sure, but you don't play around with that stuff. Haiti, it's big. Mexico, it's big. Where I'm from, it's not big at all, but it's real. Envy is you want somebody to fail, so you send a curse upon them. The opposite of that is you want somebody to succeed, experience goodness, and that is charity. You want somebody to succeed. You break up and you say, "Listen, we're done. It was sad, but best of luck. I really hope you find somebody." It's like it's a peaceful sort of like hope things work out for you. Without me. So that's desiring somebody's good. That's charity. All right. We're going to do one more for today, and that's the most obvious one that needs the least amount of discussion because you know it so well, and that is lust. That is the cleanest photo I could find on Google Images for lust. But it's, of course, when you put the sexual pleasure over anything else, largely, especially the person. I haven't really checked any class as far as examples of lust. So, but we have the time where I'm going to do it for y'all. Because the examples are, I think, obvious. Pornography, rape, using people for sex, pornography, adultery, very good. Abortion? No. It could. So you're very lustful, you're sleeping around a lot, you get pregnant eventually, you go get an abortion. But that's a little bit of a stretch. I mean, we don't want to go that far. Fornication, aka premarital sex, all this adultery, 4 in a row. Fornication, all that stuff. Okay, so I don't think y'all have anything that I don't have up here. Even I got 2 other things that you don't have, and that's masturbation, where sexual pleasure is the only good achieved, and just mental fantasizing about sexual things. So, like Jesus says, if you just look at somebody lustfully in your heart, you commit the sin. You can also put adultery up there. And what's the opposite of lust? The other word. Because you can be practicing abstinence and looking at porn every day. You're abstaining from sex. You're not abstaining from pornography. So, yeah, the opposite of lust is chastity, whereby you see the person fully. And you can subject / control your sexual desire and pleasure for their sake.